Noah again, just to like reiterate what I talked about in the first recording that we did. I want to share your story because you went through a lot.
Yeah, this time for Take Two, I kind of want it to be less about me. I'll cover some stuff about me, but I also want to like cover about other things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We can definitely do that when you have enough time to do that.
Definitely. I don't have nowhere to be, so.
Okay. But so I think of everybody that I know, you underwent like the biggest, I don't know if it's like trial or like change or what it was.
Yeah.
But you definitely were tested, or I don't know what you went through. So, I wanted to give you the opportunity to go ahead and share that and basically what happened to you and how you changed as a person.
Cool. Yeah. Well, to start off, thank you for having me again. Yeah, take one. You know, stuff happened with the guy that I was with here, and just decided I want to come by myself and lay it down. You know. Yeah. So my name's Noah. Thank you so much for having me. So to begin, I just want to say that I'm here by the grace of God, and I'm here because He spared my life, and I feel like there's a super big reason why I'm here. And because if there wasn't no like destination, or my destiny was just to die, then I would have been dead. But I'm here, so that's cool. So to start off, my life has recently changed because back in the past I was doing a lot of stupid things, and I was like doing stuff that I wasn't here to do. Like I was like doing drugs, selling them, doing stupid stuff like that. But I feel like God definitely has bigger plans for me, and you know, it just took me a long time to realize that. I'm a hard-headed person, and you know, I'm really stubborn. My pops is stubborn, and my mom is a really passionate person. So it's like it took me a while for me to realize like what I'm here for and what I'm here to do. But seeing as how the world is these days, it's like I heard a saying. It's like, for evil to triumph, the good men just don't do anything. So it's like, if you don't do anything, that's worse than like, it's just, you're basically letting evil win because you're not even trying to put in work to do good. And it's like, come on now, you got to do something with your life and stuff. And I was thinking, you know, I'm like, man, we got to work, we got to do all this. But, you know, CEOs were janitors at some point. So
yeah.
Right? You know,
Exactly.
So they got to, you know, you gotta start from humble beginnings. And, you know, it's like stuff doesn't happen overnight. And I wish it did, man. I wish it did. I touched on that a little bit in take one, on how people, you know, they'll go out there and they'll sell their soul. You know what I mean? And I speak about God a lot. You know, people don't like that these days. People want to be politically correct and this and that. And like, I'm not the most PC person, so it's like I don't really have much care for that. But yeah, I'm here because of the grace of God. What were you gonna say?
So before, in the beginning, you said you decided you came with someone last time.
Yeah.
And then now you decided to come by yourself.
Yeah.
Why?
Because me and the dude just went through some stuff that he kind of did me a little dirty. So, you know, I mean, I don't have any beef with the guy. I told him like, there's no bad blood, bro. I just don't want to be associated with you anymore because you doing things that it's not going to benefit me. You're not the type of people that I want to chill with. Like, the type of people that I want to chill with is like people like yourself. You know, you out here buying your crib, you out here, you know, you like a young CEO doing your thing, like you work, you know. Do you get salary or what?
So I'm transitioning into salary. I'm actually in the middle of a promotion. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
That's great.
You have to work hard, like you said.
Yeah, definitely.
Things taste sweeter.
Yeah.
When you earn them.
When you work for it, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. So I'm so proud of you, Andre. You're younger than me, and you got a house for yourself, which is so cool, dude. That's my number one goal, man. I want to get a house. Like, I was looking for a couple houses on Zillow, and I seen one in Apache Junction for like $10,000, and they built it like in the 70s, and me and my mom went to go check it out, and it's just super old.
Right.
there's no termites or anything. Like, I'm fine with that. Maybe I could do some renovations or something and get the house looking good. But $10,000 for a house, man, that's cheaper than a car, man.
Exactly.
And that's like, man, I would have got it in a heartbeat. But right now, I'm unemployed because it's you gotta jump through hoops when you're a felon, because like people just look at you differently. You go into a interview and as soon as you let them know, just the vibe changes and the energy and everything. It's just like they look at you different, right. Which I wish that wasn't the case, but it's like, some people out there are cool. They'll give you a second chance and this and that, but like some people just, I don't know, they're really close-minded to the point that people can change and they have the ability to do so, but they just they think that your past defines you, which it doesn't, man. Honestly, I think the present and the future defines you.
Yes.
To this point, and that's where I'm at right now in life. I'm kind of, it's discouraging when you go to places and you tell them, hey man, this is what happened in the past. Maybe this and that, and they just kind of, oh, we'll give you a call back, or yeah, thank you for your time today, this and that. And it's like, it's kind of discouraging, but you got to brush it off your shoulder and just take it day by day, really.
Take it day by day, or find another outlet to make income. Like, obviously, like a good way to make income. You
Absolutely.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think it's just like, whenever things like that come up, it's a test. It's like, how bad do you want this?
Right.
And what are you willing to do
Absolutely.
to get this? So don't. It's discouraging in the moment because, you go there and you're excited because you're like, this is a possible employment for myself.
Absolutely.
And then you get there and they technically close the door halfway, and then you're like, well, back at square one.
But
it's that, how bad do you want it, Noah?
Right.
Are you willing to work for it, Noah?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you could do things, like I say, you could sell your soul, you could do things easy and like get your stuff overnight. And it's like, would you rather have 70 years or 80 years or how long we're ever on this planet for, of just like pleasure and just a really good life and a lot of money and stuff like that? But it's like, what you got to think about eternity after this life that we have here, because like I seen a demonstration on what life is, and it's like one person was holding this end of the rope and the other person was holding this end of like a 20-foot rope, and they got like a staple and like they just put it in the middle, and it's like, this is eternity before, and this staple represents your life, and then this is eternity afterwards. So like this, honestly, this life that we have here is beautiful, man. It's priceless. It's a test right now to see what type of person you are, what's your energy like, what do you define yourself, what side do you want, really,
who do you want to be,
and who do you serve at the end of the day? Because it's like, are you serving the devil or are you serving God at the end of the day? And it's like, God, man, he loves you, man. He wants to give you a chance. He wants you in his family, but he's not gonna force you at the end of the day. That's what my mom tells me all the time. It's like, he's not gonna force you. It's not like he's gonna shove it down your throat. Like, you gotta go get it. You gotta want it. You gotta, and like you said, Andre, do you want this badly? Do you want it badly for yourself? It's how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to make a change for your life? So, at this point, I'm just trying to think of like, what can I do every day to become the man that God has wanted me to be in this life? And I just, it's really a very slow grind. It's a slow process. It's not like it can happen overnight. That's not the dealio. That's not what's gonna happen. I touched on this in the last interview that we did, that I felt very productive and very good when I was on like 4 narcotics at a time, and I had to be like really super high to even get stuff done, to get out of the bed and this and that. You see, my hair is short. My dad told me if I shave my head, he'll buy me my medical card. Mm-hmm. He was like, he's not gonna do it. He loves his hair. And I was like, man, it'll grow back. So like, I went in the bathroom, got a little clipper. I got it all down to like a 2 or a 1. And I got a razor and I just shaved my head like skin bald. And I came out the bathroom and he just started laughing at me. My mom was like, y'all look the same, cause my dad bald too. But yeah, so I got my card, and that's really all I'm doing right now is I smoke weed a little bit here and there, and I don't even drink anymore because I got homies that be like, yo, bro, let's go to the bar, let's go to Mill Ave, it's Friday night, this and that, the baby here, like some cool stuff. Like, I think the guy from Jersey Shore was there a couple weeks ago. Stupid stuff like that. But honestly, these days I'm feeling like I just had I was chilling with my homie and like his girl or whatever, and we was at her crib, and she had a bunch of like movies. Like we had a movie night watching scary movies and shit. We bought like $30 worth of snacks and shit at Circle K, and we went there. And we was just chilling and shit, and it was cool. And at that moment, I told him, I was like, bro, I had more fun here tonight than like some days that I go to the club. You know what I mean? I told you this before, like in the last interview, how my friend had like $8,000 and we spent it at like 2-3 strip clubs in one night, and it's like, bro, I didn't even have that much fun. Like it wasn't even that cool. Like I'll be in the club drinking, maybe dance a little bit, but it's like, I don't know, dude. Like these days, I like relationships and loyalty. That's so hard to find these days, and it's like, it surprises me when I see a loyal, genuine person these days, because everybody on some fake stuff these days, and it's like, man, why can't you just like, you know, I don't know, just chill back, be cool, you know.
So you've lost a lot of friends along the way with this transition?
Yeah, bro. I've lost so many friends that I thought was there for me to the end, but it's like a lot of people will use me for what I had, like, for example, like a car or something like that. A lot of people will use you for what you have, and they not really, they don't really have your best interest in mind. They just want what they want, and they're gonna use you to get to that point. And it's like, man, that's why I said it's so surprising. And it's a breath of fresh air these days when you see people that are genuinely good people and they care about your well-being and they want the best for you. You see that so less these days, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But, you know, we could have been, you and me, like, we're human beings. We could have been anywhere, like our destinies. Like, of all places, we're in Arizona, in the United States of America, probably like the best country in the world. You know, it's like we could have been like starving kids in Africa, like ISIS agents or something like that. But God put us here for a reason. And man, Arizona's cool, man. It's like a bootleg Cali. We don't have an ocean. You know, we don't got an ocean. If we had an ocean, AZ would be so lit, right, bro. But like, we don't really have that bad traffic like LA and stuff, and it's like, I don't know. I like Arizona better than Cali because there's a lot of drama and a lot of stupid stuff going on in Cali and stuff. They got the ocean though. That's what they got. That's like the best part.
Let me ask you something.
What's up?
Because I feel like it's very important to hear.
Yeah.
A comparison between what you did then versus what you do now. So back then, what did your day look like that you don't do anymore today?
Okay, so like my day, I wake up, probably smoke a blunt, maybe pop a couple pills and sip some lean, and then I'll just be ready to do my day. Sometimes I wake up and I drink a lot of alcohol and I just get real drunk. And like, I thought it was cool. Like, I watched The Wolf of Wall Street and stuff. Like, I thought it was cool to like be on. Him. To be on, yeah. Like what's that dude's name, man? Not John. Who did Leonardo DiCaprio play?
Oh man,
that dude's name. I forgot the dude's name, but whatever. Yeah, I thought it was cool, man. I thought it was cool to just be on so many drugs at one time and still like I could be in like a business setting or like in a classroom setting and just like no one would know, but like I just like keep my composure and just be cool. You know what I mean? And that's not the deal, bro. Like these days, I don't know how I was doing the stuff I used to do back in the day, but I'm like a tired old man these days, man. I get up, do my work, and I'll just be chilling at home, maybe watch some Netflix and just kick back and just be a real, you know, just laid back, man. Cause it's not enough time in the day to do stuff like that no more, man. Like what is you want? Like, and it's like people are like, yo, use your 20s to figure out what you want to do and like, you know, make mistakes, do this and that. But I feel like my personal opinion is like, if you spend your 20s finding, experimenting, doing all this stuff, it's going to be like when you're 30, like, what do you have to show for it? Like, honestly, I feel like I'm 30 now. So like when I'm 30, I could feel like I'm 40, so on and so forth. I could, go forward in life and be kind of ahead of the game. Cause I feel like if you're not ahead of the game, if you're ahead of the game, then you're present. You're like where you need to be. But if you're present in the game and you're like right where you, not where you need to be, but you're like doing not the bare minimum, right, but you're doing like what the requirements are and you're fulfilling them. Right. I don't know. I think like over the course of time, you're going to drag a little bit and it's, you know what I mean? And you're not going to fulfill your goals, and like you really got to be one step ahead of everything at each given point in time so you can get everything done, you know what I'm saying? And it's like that's why I don't really take the time to do like a lot of stuff that I used to do back in the day, because like I said, there's not enough time in the day, and it's like there's not it's not beneficial, man. It's not beneficial to what you gotta do. Like bro, okay, so when I was in jail, like there's one thing that I'm gonna tell you that I miss from jail, and it's like there's not really like stress of life in there. It's like I don't gotta worry about, oh, let me go to college, let me try to finance a house, let me do this and that. You're just a number, and you just go through your day-to-day things, and like your housing is paid for or whatever. You get your laundry done, they bring you your clothes and stuff, and at that point you just got nothing but time. And then it's like, people write books in there. Like I told you, and I should have brought it. I wrote a book in there, and it was it's like a 30-day devotional reading type thing that I wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I write a page in the book. I do 1,000 push-ups. Took me about like 2 hours. Dude, I worked out so much in there, dude. I'm so lazy nowadays. Like I need to hop back in the gym.
Well, like you said, what else is there to do?
Exactly, right? Like you gotta like what else is there to do other than like, you gotta be productive. And that's like when I was in jail, like time was just passing, and it's like even like watching TV, like I didn't really watch that much TV other than like Saturday nights. Like I like anime, so like Dragon Ball would come
Yeah.
on, Naruto and stuff, and I'd be like, man, I'm in jail just straight chilling right now. I feel good, man. This is tight.
Yeah.
Like you had the whole pod, it's all quiet, sitting down like kindergartners, you know what I mean?
God.
Just watching the TV and stuff. But it was cool. That's the only thing that I miss about it is like I just had there's no distractions really. I don't have a phone.
Right.
People glued to their phone. Like I'm a victim of this. Like I'm glued to my phone sometimes. Like I'll be distracted by stupid stuff that's going on in the world and things like that. But it was cool. I met a lot of cool people in there, and I still have their information. Some people went to prison. They're going to be locked up for the next 6 to 10 years. And some people got out, and I just kicked it with my boy. We were in this program called Mosaic, and when you go to jail, you can apply for the program, and it's like you leave Durango, where I was at, and you go to Estrella, where they used to house the women back in the day, where Tent City was. That's all taken down now. So you go to Estrella, and it's kind of like college. Mm-hmm. So you got your schedule. We were separated in color groups, so green, purple. There was no blue or red, I think, for the Crip blood thing or whatever. They didn't want all that, but there was like green, purple, yellow, gray, black, orange. And I was in green group, and you wake up, you go to class during the day, and it's kind of like we weren't in cells anymore. Like we were kind of in a warehouse with bunk beds, and it was kind of like a boot camp type deal. And but the cool thing about the Mosaic program is that we got to go outside every day, because when you're in Durango, it's like you can only go outside for 1 hour a day, and everyone lines up, and you got to sign a paper, and then you go out for recreation for about an hour, and then you come back. This, like, we had 2 double doors, and you could go outside whenever you wanted before 10 p.m., I think, and then they would lock the doors, and then we get ready for bed, and everyone kind of winds down after the day. But man, shouts out to my mom, man. She put money on my books. Like, I had a lot of people telling me, oh, bro, call me whenever. I put money on the phone. Put money on your books. Like the only person that put money on my books was my mom, man. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy like how I kind of felt a little hurt, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know, man. I did give some of my friends a call, but it's just it
showed you who was really there for you.
Yeah, it was just my mom, man. It's crazy.
Exactly. That's what I was going to tell you. The reality is that no one was really there for you but your mom, but
your
family.
When the rubber hits the road, like people could talk yada yada all they want,
I'll
and
be
then
there for you, bro. I got you.
Yes.
Yada yada yada. And then push comes to shove, and it's like, well, where are you?
Where are you?
Like, it's like, oh, yeah, my bad. I can't right now.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, well, where's the loyalty? Like, where's all the effort that I put into you?
Right.
And then you just feel stranded.
Like I take relationships seriously, whether it's a girl, whether you're my friend or whatever. Like I put my loyalty, I put everything in my relationship just to like show you that I'll ride for you, I'll die for you type thing. You know what I mean? But these days it's like I gotta see something from somebody before I start putting that effort in, because it's like some people are like Dracula, like they feed off your energy.
Yes.
Like they'll suck you dry.
Yes,
and it's like at the end of the day you all drained, and this person's just like he's feeding off of you, and it's like, man, what the heck? Like I ain't for all that stuff.
Right. That's why it's important to become self-aware
Yes.
and then set up boundaries.
Yes.
Because you need to. I mean, I feel like everyone in the back of their head knows when they're being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
But putting your foot down is hard for some people.
And then that's when people call you crazy. Like, what? What is you talking about?
Yeah.
Especially when you finally put your foot down and you start talking about things like, this, and this. And they're like, oh, man, you crazy, man. Get out of here. You a hater, this and that. It's like, no, man. I'm calling you out on what the stuff, like, what the deal is with our relationship. But, yeah, people are wild these days.
In prison, do you think that the structure of it, and we talked about this last time, people or the men or women that are there, they sort of like being in there because, I mean, their day's already set out for them.
Right.
They don't need to think about anything.
Absolutely.
And I think you said that you looked forward to, what was it, TV time and
Yeah.
going outside and things like that. And like you said, like, you just had to follow whatever they said.
Yeah, basically, it's like people can't direct their own lives by themselves. Like, some people just need that structure, and they need like a very intense set of structure to the point where their freedom's taken away. And it's like people they're out there and they freaking they just like that stuff. They get locked up, they go back, they go back out, they come back in, they go back out, they come back in. Like, I just had some people tell me, one of my friends that was in the Mosaic program, he applied for the early release, in which everyone that completes the program, they get early release on February 19th. The thing with me was that my original release date was February 19th. So it didn't matter. I just did the program just to get what I could out of it and learn about substance abuse and anger management and things of that nature. And I loved it, man. It was such a great program. I recommend anybody that goes to jail, man. I tell them, do that program,
hopefully
man.
none of you go to jail. But
Yeah, hopefully none of you have to do that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But man, it just made me realize just to be so grateful, man. It humbled me because it's like you eating this disgusting ass food. You barely get salt. Like, if you don't got money on your books, you got jack nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I just realized, man, just like potato chips, just the little things in life that people take for granted. Me too. Every day that we just take for granted, it's like, man, like, don't be like that. Like, the older I get, the more I realize that it's basically about the little things in life. Basically, like, the big stuff comes and whatever, is cool, blah blah blah, yada yada, but it's really the little things, like holding the door open for your significant other, stuff like that, like little things like that, man, that just lets you, you know what I'm saying, like, it's cool. That's what really matters in life, like a hug after a long ass day at work, and just
yes,
like, hi,
or I'm
doing?
here for you, or
Yes.
I'm proud of you,
Yeah,
things like that.
I'm proud
yes.
of you. Oh my god,
I know, same.
Dude, the feeling when someone say they're proud of you, man, it's amazing.
You're
I
like,
love it.
yes.
You're on
yes.
cloud nine. You're
exactly.
on cloud nine.
Exactly.
But yeah, I graduated the program. I wrote a speech. One of my more flamboyant counselors, like, he started crying. He started fanning himself. I was like, oh my god.
No, you did.
Like, yeah, I swear. Like, we had on one side it was all the inmates, us, and then on the other side it was probation officers, family members, and it was a big old thing for graduation day. And I want to say, like, I was more excited for this graduation than my high school graduation. Like, this, like, man, I put in so much work into this, man. Like, I was so excited to graduate, and they were like, what do you guys want for a song? So we were like all trying to figure out what the song is, and it was Devastated by Joey Badass. So like, when we walked in from the double doors to go sit down, like, two people walk in, go to sit down at the chairs, and then that song played. It was tight, man. It was a good feeling. I got on the mic, you know, I did my speech, I said it, you know, shouts out to God, this and that. And man, I told everyone, man, I was like, okay, I want everybody to look to their right and say God is good. And everybody in the whole auditorium said God is good. And I said, everybody look to your left, and I want you to say all the time. Everybody said all the time. And I heard one of the security guards like, preacher, bro. I was like, yeah, man.
I did that.
Like, I feel good right now, man. Like, I don't know. I was, you know, I was in this place called the Dream Center when I was homeless for a while. I was homeless for like a good 2 months. Cause I didn't want to move back in with my parents, and I didn't want to, like, I don't know. I was trying to do my own thing at the time, and it just, like, it didn't work after a while, and I went to this place called the Dream Center, and I did kind of like the same thing. Like I kind of preached on the mic, and this one guy, Paul Vargas, he told me, he was like, Noah, you know, people have talents in their life, but when you preach your sermon right now, it just came out so naturally, like it was effortless. Like when I found my wife, it was effortless. We just clicked, and I've been with my wife ever since. When you preach right now, it was effortless. Like it would. I just suggest that you think about doing that later on in your life. I don't know. I would like to be a pastor later on in my life and just like preach and like help people.
What do you need to do to become one?
I think you go through seminary, something called seminary, and it's kind of like a pastor school, and maybe you could get what is it called? You could go to school for it, get a degree or something, and like not psychology, but like what is it, man?
I'm assuming religious studies.
Yeah, religious studies or something. There's a word for it. I don't know the word, but yeah, you could do that, and I don't know. I would like to do that later on in my life. When I was 16, I used to meet with my pastor right here. He lived in Levine at Levine Baptist Church. And that's when I got caught smoking weed when I was like 16 in the youth group at the church.
No.
And they told me, you know, come see pastor every Monday and y'all talk about life and stuff. So I meet him every Monday. We talk for a good couple hours about life and stuff. And he's a good man. He used to smoke weed himself, do coke, whatever. Like he had a pretty wild life, and now he's a senior pastor at the church. God bless him. I love Pastor Jerry. But yeah, we would have very interesting talks about God and life and stuff like that. And it's like he would visit South America sometimes, and this is where like I've heard from so many like good, renowned people that I would look up to in life, and they've seen like magic, like real life magic, like witchcraft, stuff like that. Like I know a lot of people like. I don't know. I feel like the U.S. is like one of the countries that just don't really touch on that subject a lot. But like you go to a third world country and stuff, and you talk about witchcraft and magic and stuff. Like they talk about it like it's an everyday occurrence. Like they see witches and stuff in the street. But it's like he went to South America, to Brazil. He went to a beach and he saw like these women doing like this satanic chant ritual stuff, and they was like jumping 10 feet in the air. You gotta think like this roof is probably 10 feet, and people like, how do you even jump that high? Is insane. If I saw that, man. Ooh, I'll go back to my car and get the hell out of there. But yeah, man, that's it's cool. And when I was at the Dream Center, I talked to this dude that used to be an ex-witch, and I guess the cartel was after him. He went to a cemetery that night. He did a blood incantation. He got a couple rocks from the cemetery, and he placed the rocks with the blood on it around his house. And the cartel came with their guns and stuff. And all the lights just cut off at one point. The windows broke, and the rocks like shot up and pierced the people. And only he could see the 10-foot demons like standing where the rocks were. But the cartel people couldn't see, and they had fully automatic weapons and this and that. But it was pitch black, and then the rocks just like went through and pierced the people, and they were like shrieking in horror, and they all ran away. And it's just stories like that. It interests me a lot, man. Like if I ever became a pastor, I would love to do exorcisms, you know, like scary stuff like that. Like I'd be like, come out.
So you'd be more. I think are exorcisms like more towards like a Catholic sort of.
You know, I see where you're coming from with that.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's all a Jesus-based thing. Like if you come with the Lord and you use the name of Jesus, which is the most powerful name in existence, you use that, demons gonna fear you. Demons they're not gonna fear you. They're gonna fear the name. But you come in that name, and the demons are just gonna flee.
And not to like trigger anybody, but I think Catholicism and Christianity, I mean, it's all the same thing to me.
You know, I was talking with some Jehovah's Witnesses the other day, and I told him, I was like, hey, man, you believe in Jesus? And he was like, yeah. I was like, I believe in Jesus too. I believe he's my Lord and Savior. So, bro, we on the same team. Like, we are on the same team. I don't know what all this separation is, Catholicism, Christianity, Jehovah's Witness, whatever you are, man. If you believe in Jesus Christ and you believe what he did on the cross for you, at the end of the day, he died for your sins, and you believe that with all your heart and soul and mind, strength, spirit, all that, you Gucci, bro. You good at the end of the day. And I just feel like it's just like a bunch of old people is like, but we have to do it like this. And some other old people is like, we gotta do it like this. And that's where all the separation came from. And I'm not for that. I think
separation is very much man-made.
Yeah, definitely.
If you look at something, if you get like just like a jumble of whatever, random things, your first instinct is to separate them, either by color, by size, or by
categorize.
Whatever. Yeah, categorize.
Yeah.
It's like a human thing. That's why there's different races, and that's why there's tall and short, and but who would know without pointing that out?
You know those little games that the little kids have where you put the shapes in the thing?
Yes.
Okay, so triangle, square, circle, Catholicism, Christianity, Jehovah's Witness, they all shapes, but they all different colors. So I guess people could be like, but this one blue, but this one red, but this one green. They're all shapes at the end of the day. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, we all shapes.
You mentioned that when you were 16, you were caught smoking.
Yeah.
At that age, did it all start? Like when you started changing and going towards this pleasure-filled, fast-paced life?
Yeah, I want to say about 15, 16, I started popping a lot of pills, like a lot of Xanax, anything benzodiazepine. I really love that feeling. Like you pop a Xanny, bro, and it's like you have no anxiety, and it's like you just feel on cloud nine. You feel great. You feel like you could write a 10-page essay. Like you're just really productive.
Do you think you were running from anything?
Feelings and emotions. Definitely, I was running from that, man. I couldn't just go toe to toe with it, and at the end of the day, just like really have a heart to heart with myself, and just maybe go in your room and cry. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that, like feely emotions. I didn't like it. I thought the key to life was just to be emotionless and kind of just go through life like your whole world could be crashing down around you, but you got to stay strong and you got to look strong, because you can't show anybody that you're weak. And I feel like that was the worst. Like, that would be worse than death, is just to show somebody that you're weak and vulnerable. Like, I couldn't do it. I don't know why.
So you don't know if you learned that from somebody, if you just grew up in
maybe, yeah. I think I grew up around some people that I looked up to, and they had the same formula going on, and I think I looked at that and I was like, I want that. I want to be that. They're strong. People like them. They're very independent. I love that. So that's why I started to take that route. But I figured out that these days, man, it's all about emotion. It's all about being vulnerable, because that's where the growth comes from. If you want to deny stuff your whole life and just you're
only fooling yourself. At the end of the day,
you're only screwing yourself over at the end of the day, dude. Like, really, like, there's people out there that care about you, and you just just naturally go through what this life has to offer you, man, and don't shrug it off. It's precious. Life is beautiful, and we all have to just take them steps, them little baby steps, whatever it may be. I think Kendrick Lamar said, like, don't neglect the importance of a baby step, because it's a step. It's better than not taking a step at all, But yeah, that's where I'm at with that.
When you had the heart to heart with yourself, when you faced yourself, I guess, were you severely overwhelmed? Like, how was that feeling when you finally were like, okay, I'm in a hole right now?
Yeah, man. At some points, I felt like I was like suicidal at points in time. Like, I wanted to jump off a building, like hang myself or something like that. Like, it was weird, man. It was weird, like getting down with these emotions. I had a heart to heart with God. I'm like, God, can I do this? Did you pick the right person for this job? And it's kind of reminded me of this story in the Bible of Jonah, where he was like, Jonah, go to Nineveh and go talk to these people and preach the word. And he was just like, nah. And he got on a boat and like he went like south. Like, he was supposed to go north and he went south, and like I guess like the whole boat was cursed. Like, there was a storm, and he just like told the ship people like, hey, this is bad stuff happening because I'm here. Like, I was supposed to go there. I'm here, and God's mad. So they were like, we gonna have to throw you over the boat, bro. So I mean, they threw him over the boat. He got eaten by a whale. He was in the whale's stomach for like 3 days. And then the whale spit him up. And after all that hardship, he finally understood, and he went to the city and he did what he had to do. But it's like, he could have avoided all that, But I think as humans, some people just like to learn the hard way, man. And it's like, I feel like it's it gives you a strong foundation at the end of the day to be very firm in what you believe, because you've seen how it had to be when you had to go through the hard way. Like, and then you could tell the next person, like the younger person, hey, you can avoid all this, bro. You don't have to go through all this pain and suffering to understand a very simple, common sense thing. But then again, common sense is not all that common. So it's like, these days, man, you just gotta I don't know. I told my mom that too, man, that I like to learn the hard way. I don't know why, but it's just like I I feel like I'm just like firm, like I'm solidified once I go through things, and it's like I understand from like a very deep perspective, like this is why this is because of this, this, and this. So that's why. I mean, now that I'm older and I kind of understand things more, like there's a lot of things that could be avoided. Like I didn't have to go to jail. I didn't have to do this and that. This stuff never had to happen. But then again, I wouldn't be the man I am today without going through those things.
That's what I was gonna tell you, because I think I remember last time I asked you, like, do you think you had to go through all this in order for you to come out this way, or?
I think so, because I'm a hard-headed, like I said before, I'm stubborn. I'm very passionate. I'm a very, very high energy person, and it's like I think I did have to go through these things, because if I didn't, I wouldn't like have an appreciation. Like you said, when you work for something, everything comes sweeter. Like the harvest is sweeter. Like it's like I don't know, man. You really gotta. I think for me personally, I definitely had to go through those things to get to the point where I'm at now. But I don't want no part in those things no more, man. Like if I can take the route with the less pain and suffering, I will take that route these days.
And it's less pain and suffering, but it is more hard work and more effort.
Oh,
and
definitely.
It's slow.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
It's like a bamboo tree. Is it a bamboo tree? I think it's a it's some type of tree.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you know what tree it is.
Yeah.
I forgot what it is.
Yeah.
But for 5 years, it does not grow at all. You just cater to it. You water it every day. You make sure it gets enough sun, all that stuff. That basically you just maintenance it, and it won't sprout till 5 years. But once that 5th year hits, it's like overnight. It just grows.
Wow.
And I think that's what the normal route, the safe route, or not. Maybe the healthy route is. It's just a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
A lot of effort, a lot of consistency, a lot of showing up, a lot of patience. And that's another thing that I told you last time. You need to learn to be patient with yourself.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm stubborn when it comes to I'm what's the word for it, for not being patient? It's like I don't know what the word is, but the opposite of patient, that's like
Impatient?
me. Impatient. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh shit. Yeah. I think I'm impatient sometimes, but that's a beautiful story. What's that, like a parable or something?
It is.
Yeah.
My mom told it to me because
okay. Came from mama. Shouts out to mama.
She knows everything.
She knows it. Oh, everything.
It was when I started to do the podcast, and you know how when you start like a new project, you want the benefits already.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I wish more people would listen to it.
Yeah.
And then she played me that story, and I was like, oh, okay. Like you just and you're like, okay, well now it's just day by day.
Yeah.
And you have to take it day by day. There's no other way.
Yeah, definitely. Like you wake up in the morning. I used to work construction. They make you wake up super early, like wake up at 3 a.m. Sometimes I wouldn't get enough sleep and my alarm would hit and I'd just be like, oh my God, can I die now, please? Like, I'm not a morning person, but yeah, I've been working a lot of night shift jobs recently because it's like I get to sleep in and it's cool. I still get the same amount of hours, but I could get all the sleep I need or want. I mean, I don't think you need that much. I think tops you need like 6 or 7 hours. I know doctors be like 9, 10, like, nah, you don't need that much. But yeah, definitely get like 6 or 7 hours a night so you can stay healthy and stuff like that. But
what made you want to get baptized?
What made me want to get baptized? Okay, so I got really close to God in jail, man. Every day I used to read the Bible for about a couple hours, and I didn't start from front page to back page. I started from the New Testament all the way to Revelation, and then I read the Old Testament all the way to the New Testament. And that's what my mom told me to do, because she said I might understand things better on all the prophecies that were fulfilled in the New Testament. And then I go back to the Old to where the prophecies were, professed.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's when and I can see how everything connects and comes together. And actually, if anyone wants to get into the Bible, I recommend that. I recommend you start with the New, go all the way to Revelation, then go to Genesis all the way to Malachi. I think that's the last book. But yeah, definitely do that. I spent a couple hours a day reading it. And oh my God, bro, I just felt so close to God. Like I literally felt like he was talking to me, dude. Like I'll be like, God, what do I do about this, this, and this? And it's like, God doesn't talk to you audibly. Like you don't hear a voice in your head that's not yours. And it's like this and that. Like it's kind of like through your life. Like you'll see signs in the form of people, numbers, things, events in your life. You'll see signs, and it'll just like make sense. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences, man. I do not believe in coincidences. It was here, you here at this exact moment, at this exact time, and this thing happened. This and this happened for this exact reason, because it's like you're a chess piece, and God put your piece here, and the devil put his pieces here, and he put you there for a reason, so you could do what you had to do. And yeah, man, that's why I wanted to get baptized, because I just felt so close. And I did get baptized when I was like 6 or 7, but I was like a kid. I didn't really understand things that much back then. But I had a very good understanding after I got out. And this pastor used to come to the jail, and he would come Sunday morning, Sunday night, Monday nights, and he'd come preach, play the guitar and stuff like that. And it was cool, man. I loved it. And he told me and a couple friends that I was with, he was like, come by. This is the address. I want to see you guys when you get out. So I did. And I took a couple classes that the pastor gave me, and Pastor Rick. And he asked me if I was cool to get baptized. Like, we're doing baptisms in about 3 weeks. If you want to be a part of that, just let me know. And I prayed about it. I thought about it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it. So that's why I got baptized. And at that exact moment, man, I just felt, oh my God, I felt like just such a lightness. Like, I was very light, like standing on my toes, like walking on air. Like, when I came out of the water, it's like, oh my God, it was beautiful. It was a great feeling. It was priceless. I can't put a price on that, man. You just can't. It's the love of God. And I was reading like this article on Facebook, and it's like Prince of ISIS turns to Jesus, and basically he was saying that in Islam, Jesus had a love that was not in Islam, that was not of the Muslim Islamic faith. Like, there was just a love there that was different. And that's what he picked up on. And that's why he chose to change his faith. And I understand that, man. I see that. I used to have a lot of debates with my Muslim friends, and I could kind of see that, where they're coming from. I know there's a lot of similarities between the Quran and the Bible and the Torah, the Jewish book. There's a lot of similarities. But then you got to think, man, why is Jesus mentioned in all these books? Like, you got to think, like, there's a lot of proof out there, bro. There's a lot of proof out there, and it's like, you just need to dive into it and look at it and stop being so dismissive. You got to just be like, just look at the facts for what they are. Like, top 2 religions in the world, Islam and Christianity, they both got Jesus in them. And it's like, who is this man? Then you got to do your research and go dive in. Like, what's this man about? What did he do? Why is he so important? Why are people dying over these things? Why are people shedding blood just for like something they believe in? And it gets deep, man. Like the Crusades, like all that stuff over the Holy Land. People were fighting for that land because they just deemed it holy. You know what I mean? And like, I could tell you one example. Sodom and Gomorrah was a city in the Bible, in the Old Testament, where God destroyed with fire because everyone was just so wicked in those times. And he told Lot and his family, they were the only family to make it out that city. He said, don't look back at the city or it's going to be bad. And Lot's wife happened to look back, and she just turned a stone or a pillar of salt, I think, in that moment. And he just destroyed the whole city with like fire came down from heaven. And you go to the geographical place where the Sodom and Gomorrah was believed to be, and this guy brought like a little radar that checks brimstone purity, and nowhere else on the planet Earth can you find a place with that high level purity concentration of brimstone. It was like 98 point something, and everywhere else where you go to for brimstone, it's like 13%. So you look at the 98, you're like, wow, then why was this? It's because like there was a massive holy fire that just burned the city down. So that's just one cool fact of why I believe. There's a lot of things. It's a lot of things. But yeah, man, I just got so close to him during my time in jail. And there was a lot of temptation in jail. There's a lot of drugs. There's a lot of alcohol. I'm gonna come clean with it. I did sip a lot. They got a lot of alcohol in there. Like,
you mentioned a drink.
Yeah, it's called hooch. So basically, like, you get the fruits and stuff. You get apples. You crush them up. put them in a water bottle, you let it ferment and sit for about 5 to 6 days, and it'll the longer you let it ferment, the more alcohol. But you can't let it ferment too long, or else it's just gonna turn to straight vinegar. So and the crazy thing is, you gotta burp them. Like, you gotta unscrew the bottle and let the you know what I mean? Because if you don't do that, it's gonna explode like a grenade, and it's very loud. Like, this one guy's bottle exploded. Like, it was the morning, everyone was all quiet. I was reading, and it was real quiet. And you just hear boom, like the SRT came in with the guns and shit. Like, oh my god, like, but yeah, like it was cool. Halloween, I got so drunk. New Year's Eve, I got so drunk. Christmas, so drunk, and it was fun. It was fun to drink and share stories with people. And see their lives. It's good people in there, man. Not everyone's just a straight up, like, there's some weirdos, like there's some real evil people in there, and they're very out with it. Like, they'll be like, I worship the devil, this and that. Like, there's some real crazy people up in there, but there's a lot of majority, I would say it's good people, man. It's good people up in there. And thank God that I met some great people that, you know, I still talk to, and you know, they talk to me, and we just have this relationship, you know, and I can't wait to see them when they get out.
So, since you went through this, I feel like you're even still going through like a period of change.
Yes.
What has been like the biggest thing that you've learned, do you think?
I think the biggest thing that I learned would have to be that stuff don't happen overnight, and it's a slow process. You got to be patient with yourself. Like I said, I'm an impatient person. For the most part, and it's like, you just got to take it day by day and go through the pain, and you got to go through the grind, you know, and you just got to just take it slow and breathe a couple times, maybe stop to smell the roses, you know what I mean? And yeah, I just learned that you just can't rush this life. You can't rush it at all. Like, it, you know, unless you use other means, you can't rush it. Oh God, you can't rush it. And yeah, dude, that's it. Just don't rush it.
What do you want for your life?
I want to have a family. I want to be able to give back to the community once I get to the point of financial stability, and just a good place in my life where I can do that, and maybe go to like a third world country, build a house or something. Do a lot of things, man. At this point in time, I'm just kind of working on myself, because I gotta learn. I'm still learning with this. Like, every day, you gotta learn how to love yourself before you can love anyone else. And there's times where there'll be thoughts in my head about me, and I'm hard on myself, and I talk smack about myself. But I learned to just like tune out them voices just a little bit, tone it down, and just kind of breathe and relax. And, you know.
Do you think you've forgiven yourself? Were you ever mad at yourself?
Yes. Oh man, I was furious at myself to the point where I wanted to kill myself. Like, I was just so mad at the stupid things that I had done in my life, man. And going to the story about like how I got shot and stuff, like, I felt sometimes I put that on my shoulder. Like, if I didn't pick my homie up that day, that wouldn't have happened. But it's like, I don't know, man. You know, like, the dude told my boy that we was gonna go to a fight party. It was August 26, 2017. It was Conor versus Mayweather, like this and that. So we go to Chandler, and long story short, like, the passenger shoots my boy in the head. He shoot me 3 times. I got a bullet hole in my face, my shoulder, my lung. And there was a girl that we had just picked up from Mexico. It was like her second day in the United States. She got shot in the head, and then the dude ran out the car. I got out the car. I prayed to God at that moment. I was like, God, just please spare my life. There's so many things that just came to my mind in that moment. Like, I gotta have kids, I gotta get married, I gotta do all these things. Like, just have a good long life. And he did spare me. He did answer my prayer that day. I felt like after that prayer, I had a little bit of energy. I got up, I ran back to the car, picked up my boy, I put him on the floor. No time for no funeral, no tears, because I know if he was alive, he would have been like, hurry up, go. Like, he was that type of person, man. Rest in peace, my man. Adrian Islas Cesar Navidad. Rest in peace, man. That was my brother. But I hopped in the whip, and I drove. I didn't know whether to call my mom, tell her goodbye, or call hospital, police, what have you. So I just got on the phone with 911. I was like, hey, this happened. I'm bleeding out. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what's going on. And they were like, just stop driving. I was like, there's a girl in the back, man. And like, they were like, just stop driving. We have your location. So I get out the car, I stop. I'm on the sidewalk, and like 12 cop cars just pass me, and I'm on the sidewalk, like bleeding, my face all bloody. And the 13th one stopped, and he told everyone to come back around.
13, that's a lucky number.
Yeah, man. Numbers,
that's
man.
That's a sign.
Numbers. Life. God speaks to you through, like I said, numbers, signs, images, events, all that. But, yeah, the 13th one saw me. He put me in the back of the ambulance, and I woke up like 2 or 3 days later after surgery, tubes all wired up and everything like that. God bless the surgeon. I forgot his name, but the guy that did surgery on me, he was like, you know, if you came like 10, 15 minutes later, you probably would have died from blood loss. So it's a good thing that you hear. It's a miracle, really. And I was talking with the guy from the chapel in the hospital, and he told me the same thing. He was like, man, you got to spread that story, man. That's like, you here for a reason, definitely. And I believe that also to this day that I'm here for a reason. You know, hopefully that can inspire or touch somebody else to do some things in their life that they've been sitting on, waiting for a sign. Well, you know, here you go. And maybe that could touch somebody. So it'd be cool.
It definitely will. Are you waiting for a sign?
Me? Oh, man. I think I'm constantly waiting for signs. Like, sometimes I won't even move forward unless I feel solidified in my decision to go make a choice. Because these days, I barely even trust myself, man. Because I've done so many stupid things in my life that sometimes I have a fear of me just not doing what I'm supposed to. At the end of the day, I don't even trust my damn self, man. That's a sad thing to say, but yeah, I feel like your number one enemy in life is yourself anyway.
So then, because you're so close to God, maybe that's what you need to ask him for guidance in.
Yes, ma'am.
Learning how to trust yourself again.
Yeah.
Or helping you get in tune with that intuition, because I'm not so much religious, but I am very spiritual.
Yeah.
And in a way, that intuition is a form of God. And if you get in contact with that, if you just start meditating and you just listen.
Right. You was talking about that in the last one.
Just listen.
Meditation.
To what your mind is so loud. It's so loud. Even if you just do it 5 minutes, Noah.
Yeah.
Just 5 minutes. Just sit there and you're going to hear babbling in your head like, did I pick that up? Should I take a shower before I go there? You know,
right.
But it's just like accepting that your mind is going and just like see your thoughts.
Yeah.
And then you're going to learn to separate both of them. And then that's when you're just going to find you. And you're going to sit there with yourself. And then you're going to feel that feeling. And it's for like a split second.
Okay.
But once you feel it, you're going to recognize that's your intuition. And that is the noise, the feeling, the trigger, the whatever that you're going to learn to follow with everything else that you learn to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But just be kind with yourself.
Right.
You know, you went through a really tough lesson. Yes, you triggered it, and yes, you put yourself in it, but
right.
You learned.
Absolutely.
And you're not the Noah that you were anymore.
No.
Exactly.
Thank God.
Yeah, with time, you'll learn to trust yourself again.
Yeah.
But just do little things. Like, if you say you're going to work out. Yeah. Or at least put on your clothes to work out. And walk outside for 5 minutes. At least you did it, you know? Like, build that trust again little by little.
Yeah.
Or I'm a meal prep tonight. Just meal prep for one day. Or just, like, make rice. Like, something so simple. Just to get you back on track. Because, you know, we want to take that jump right away.
Right.
And it's like, you can't do that. Before you jump in the pool, you need to learn how to swim.
Right.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So little by little, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
For sure. Especially if you have God behind you. Like,
oh,
hello.
yeah. Definitely. Oh, my God. Like, if you have God on your side, anything's possible, man. You could fly, honestly. But, yeah, if you have God on your side, anything's possible. But yeah, dude, I just came by. I wanted to, you know, share a little bit about myself and stuff like that. And, you know, hopefully someone could get something out of this. And it's all a process, man. It's just like the whole life. You will never stop learning. I heard from somebody that he said that life is a classroom like this. Like, if you stop learning, you stop living. So, you know, just got to be humble yourself every day. Take it very slow and remain teachable. If you can't remain teachable, then I feel like the battle has already almost been lost. But there's always a way for people to come back and turn around and change their life. Always. You never run out of hope. As long as you still have breath in your lungs and life, you got a chance.
Yeah.
Always.
And I'd want to check up on you here and there.
Yeah.
Every couple months, you know, just even if it's this or just like something, just because I feel like when you talk about what you've done, it puts it in perspective. You're like, okay, yeah, I am moving forward. You know, like I'm not stuck. You know, I am actually doing stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was real easy back in the day, you know, when you're just so high and you know, I work like 70, 80-hour weeks, just go hard, just be super high all the time, just like a robot, just really numb and just able to do this stuff. And now it's like, I got to find that natural energy within myself to do it by myself without substances. And that was a real hard thing for me, man. If anybody is struggling with like drug use and stuff out there, man, don't touch opiates, don't touch benzos, don't touch, especially opiates, man, because I was sipping a lot of lean, I was popping perks a lot, and you got to be careful these days, because in Arizona, we got hit hard with like these fake perks coming in. They're blue, they have an M on the front and a 30 on the back, and they got a lot of fentanyl in them. Two white dudes in Scottsdale was at a party, and I guess they popped like 2 each, and they both died. And like, it's real potent. The fentanyl is like, I want to say 30 times stronger than heroin and 100 more times stronger than morphine. So yeah, I was doing perks for a while. I was doing fentanyl for a while, and it's not a good drug, bro. Like, I was awake for like 5 days, sweating, pain, Jesus. Like almost having seizures, like shaking. Like, I wouldn't wish that upon nobody. The terror that you go through, the withdrawal off of opiates is so painful, bro. Like,
What did you feel?
Oh my God, like you can't sleep at all, bro. That's like the worst part. If you could sleep through withdrawal, it would be so much easier. But like, for the next 5 days, just prepare to just eat and sleep. That's all, pretty much all you can do. Your body's like just so weak and worn out because it's detoxing and getting all the toxins out of your body. And it's a terrible process, man. Take a lot of showers, drink a lot of cranberry juice, stay hydrated, eat. I know it's kind of hard the first couple days, but with time, you'll get through it. A lot of people recommended me to go to a clinic to get methadone or Suboxone or Subutex. I wouldn't recommend those things because I heard a couple stories where people would be on like heroin and stuff, and they'll get on methadone, and they just haven't been off of methadone, and it's like, it's even harder. It's even harder these days. Like so, say you're on fentanyl, Percocets, whatever dope. It'll take you about 3, 4, 5 days to get off. Go through that terrifying process of just sweating and not sleeping, feeling pain. Your muscles ache. It's a terrible pain. It's horrible. You're shaking a lot. Like, your feet just kind of are restless through the night. I got sober when I went to jail because I was doing a lot of perks at the time. Like, right before I went to jail, I was like, man, I'm gonna wild out. I'm gonna just be high every single day. I'm gonna go there high. I was in the courtroom high. But I think because you're in 4th Ave for the first couple of days that you go to jail, you're going from cell to cell. You're barely sleeping. Like, the whole situation was just new to me. So like, I didn't really get a lot of sleep during the first couple 3 days. And I was sweating a lot. It's real cold in there. They have a long bench that you can sit on, but they have bars every, I want to say like 2 feet or so you can't lay down and be comfortable. The whole thing is they want to make it a terrible experience as possible. And I did catch, like, here and there, I doze off for maybe 2 hours, this and that. But then when I got on the bus and I went to Durango for my housing unit, that's when I got a bed for the first time in like 3 days, and I slept, and I had such good sleep that night. And I believe that was the 3rd or 4th day. That's when I was able to sleep and eat a little bit more, and I started feeling better. And then I started working out more, and then gradually I became healthy, and I became much better. But the first couple days is really hard. Like, I wouldn't recommend to get on methadone or Subutex or anything like that. Go to meetings. When I was in jail, I went to a lot of Narcotics Anonymous meetings, Alcoholics Anonymous. Great stuff. You know, I still go with some of my friends these days. It's a great group of love, just loving people that have been through what you've been through, and they understand the pain that you're going through, and they'll just come to you as a brother, sister person and just be like, hey man, I know what you're going through. Let me just love on you. Let me just listen to what you have to say. Let me just be there for you. And that's really important when you're in the process of quitting, because I think that was probably one of the most hardest things that I had to do in life, was get off of substances, especially opiates, because it was easy for me to like quit other things, because once you quit other drugs, like, it's not necessarily make you sick or anything, but once you get off of like lean and opiates, it's just the worst, most terrifying experience that you could go through. and you're just sick. You feel like you're going to die, but you don't die. And you want it to end. And this is where it's real easy because you know how to end that pain. You can just go get the opiate and just, oh, man. Like, some of the times where I try to get clean, like, I try to quit, and then I go, like, 2 days in, and I pop a perk, and just all that pain and suffering just went away. And I felt amazing. From the opiate. But that's the devil of it, man. That's the hard part, is that you got to get past that. And I know it's there. You can go get that drug and feel good, but it's like, when are you gonna get out of this vicious cycle that you put yourself into? So you know, I just recommend go to meetings, eat, sleep. You know, if you have to lock yourself in a room for 5 days, which I had to do, lock yourself in a room, just sweat it out, man. Sweat it out. Cold sweats, no bueno. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. But you can do it. It's definitely possible. You know, like I said, as long as you're breathing, you got breath in you, you got God on your side. Number one, you got God on your side, you'll be able to do it. And I got about like a couple months clean now. I stopped counting the days, but I feel great, man. I look at life now, and it's a beautiful thing. And I just, you know, stop to smell the roses and the birds, and just, you know, just be chill with it, man. Like, it's cool. Life is very beautiful. And I thought at one point, like, to fully enjoy life, you had to be high. That's not the case, man. You can enjoy it being completely sober. You know, not saying that you can't go out for like a wedding or a quinceañera and have like a couple Coronas, just something to hold us, you know what I mean? Something like that. I don't know. Yeah, man, you could definitely do that, but you know, there's always moderation, and you always got to take it carefully, because it's easy, man. It's easy to get carried away, and I've suffered with that as well. So, you know, just anybody struggling with that, man, you know, just talk. Yeah, go find a meeting, or go to a church, or go find God, number one, and He will help you through that process.
So through this hour, what do you want people to leave with?
I want you to know that you are loved. There is a loving God out there that cares for you, even though sometimes you may not feel that way. There's a person out there with full 100,000% unadulterated pure love for you, and never end it, never, you know, feel it's easy to feel lonely and stuff. I don't got no brothers or sisters, so, you know, I grew up without not having that, so it's kind of lonely being by yourself all the time. But it has some advantages, pros and cons, whatever, but it does get lonely sometimes in this life. And just know that there's people on this earth that care for you and love for you. And it's crazy. Some people that you may know may be counting on your downfall, and some people that you don't know may actually be wanting you to succeed. So these days, man, it's crazy. People got masks. You don't know who's who, but just know that there's people out there that care for you, and there's a loving God out there that wants nothing but the best for you. So if I want anybody to leave with anything from this podcast, just know that there's a God out there. His name is Jesus Christ, and He loves you.
Thank you, Noah.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's always a pleasure, literally.
Always.
And I'm excited to post it, and not only that, but like check it on you again.
Definitely. Thank you.
I'm a little like, oh.